after the historic Ritz Theatre debuted in downtown Corpus Christi, the Plaza Theatre opened its doors in 1930 in El Paso. Both theaters were designed by architect W. Scott Dunne, and both experienced decades of success and eventual decline. The Plaza reopened in 2006 after a 20-year, $38 million restoration effort by the El Paso Community Foundation in the city. As members of the Ritz Theatre step up their efforts to restore their venue, they are now looking to their sister theater in El Paso for inspiration.
Everyone has a story about the Plaza Theatre. You know, their first date, their first movie here, all the things that are kind of part of growing up in a community. And so when there was a move to actually tear it down, to believe it or not, to put a parking lot here, I mean, some of the community leaders just said, absolutely not.
I mean, it's just beautiful. It's gorgeous. Just look around. It's a celebration of who we are, where we've come from, and what we find important. The gentleman who bought the space originally, he said he wanted to give a gift to the city. And that was his impetus for building the building. And that's why I think we are excited when we restored the building, because it was re-gifting that original gift back to the citizens of El Paso.
Restoring the Plaza Theatre did more than preserve a piece of history, says City Manager Joyce Wilson. She and other city leaders believe it was an important part of the border community's downtown revitalization.
The Plaza restoration is sort of like the first thing. The expansion of the library, the History Museum, those are city projects from the 2000 bond. They kind of came right behind it. And then all of a sudden, like, other things started happening up to today, where we're building a AAA baseball park, 2 blocks away. We passed a quality of life bond in which about $250 million of investment are going to come into downtown with 3 very signature projects, including a multi-purpose arena and a children's museum. So it's part, it's part of the kind of cultural and entertainment center for the community that you really want your downtown to be. I think if the Plaza would have been destroyed, then you would have just saw kind of like a urban renewal where they were just wiping out swaths of old buildings. You look at other communities and other cities that actually did that, where they came into their historic downtown and started bulldozing blocks and then doing these glass skyscrapers and kind of like the modernistic architecture and really destroy the character and fabric of the community. So in some way, I do think it was probably a signature moment in terms of the leadership really starting to think about downtown and the fact that they were going to lose a lot of really important buildings if somebody didn't really kind of reverse their philosophy and position about what was happening here.
Well, I think strong downtowns are always important to cities because they are the key to your future. They're the key to attracting outside investment and actually celebrating who you are as a city. They're the core, they're the hearts of every city in the United States. And so if you lose that, you sort of lose a little bit of the soul of who you are. People are changing how they live. They have new expectations, and as I said, especially millennials are looking for urban, vibrant, active environments, and so that's a mix of everything. That's all the businesses that go to support living in a downtown core, but also all the cultural opportunities. And that's why cultural investment can be the anchor to start those other types of investments. And what we're finding in downtown El Paso is we're actually getting developers now rethinking their own models of how they invest in the city, and we're starting to see them start to explore investment in housing, and that's going to be critical. You want a downtown that's always active, and if you're not living downtown, it's not going to be an active downtown 24/7.
But the impact of the Plaza Theatre restoration extends beyond downtown. Eric Pearson, president of the El Paso Community Foundation, explains.
This universally has value to the community, and if you look at the downtown of El Paso 5 years ago versus what it is today, in terms of all the residual, it started with this theater. El Paso had, and still does to some extent, but less so, had an inferiority complex, like nothing great can happen here. And I'm sure that happens all over border communities, small communities that don't have a broad array of things. You know, we all want to be Austin, or we all want to be Seattle, or we all want to be X or Y. But if you can look at what you have that's unique and highlight that, then you have something. And so if Corpus Christi has a theater that is unique in all the world, if you can take what is unique about your community and teach the people in your community to appreciate it, then you have made something that people will come to see. Because we can all get a Starbucks, we can all get a P.F. Chang's, we can all get this or that chain store. All that does is homogenize us. It's the celebration of our differences, which is what this facility and what I hope the one in Corpus Christi will be about.